Andrea, you want to start?
I will start. I guess I'll ask the question that you probably are tired of getting asked now, but was Steph able to do any more in leading into tomorrow's scrimmage, or more of the same?
Yeah. He practiced fully with the team today. We didn't have a scrimmage, but we did some situational drills, and he took part in everything. And talked to him afterwards. He said he felt pretty good, but now we got to see how he feels tomorrow, and we'll reevaluate tomorrow. But I would say right now it's looking good that he was scrimmaged tomorrow, and then we take the next step.
You said some situational things, so it's just a lot of drills today, and then that.
Yeah, drills and going over the Denver's stuff and game planning, and then a lot of shooting and skill work, that kind of stuff.
And as far as tomorrow goes, is it more kind of how his foot reacts, or is it more kind of the conditioning for Steph?
It's his conditioning should be good. He's been doing a lot of work. So it's more just the training staff making the decision based on their evaluation of him, if he's ready to go into a full scrimmage.
And then looking back at film of the games against the Nuggets, is it more kind of what can be improved on in the 3 losses, or what kind of stood out in that one win?
It was a weird season series, for both teams. We had one game canceled, or postponed, I should say. Draymond didn't play in any of them. Obviously, Denver has had more than their share of injuries. Both teams kind of went through a lot during the regular season, and we caught each other at different times. The one that we won, they were dead tired, and I think they faded in the fourth quarter. It was their 4th in 5 nights. They were flying all over the place. So we definitely, we watched all those games, but, you can take some stuff from it, learn from those games, little details, but you don't get a great idea of what the matchup is going to look like in game 1, given that there will be different people out there.
We talked a bit yesterday, kind of going off of that based on, Jokic, and you guys didn't have Draymond and all that stuff. Gary Payton, though, was a guy that you threw at Jokic a couple of times during the regular season. How come are you going to be looking for Gary to take on that assignment at times again? And what can throwing such a different look at Jokic kind of do, hopefully?
It will not be a staple. I can tell you that, but we have to be ready to try everything and anything. He's such a great player that you have to try to mix things up and change looks, and that could include trying Gary on him on a few possessions.
Steve, like you said, a player like Jokic, he's going to get his, really no matter what you do. But in your years coaching against him, have you found one strategy that kind of works a little better than maybe another?
No.
Denver's going through their own, injury thing with particularly Jamal Murray. Is he maybe going to come back, maybe not? When you guys are preparing for Denver, do you prepare for Jamal as well, or do you kind of just go on what they've been doing so far this season?
No, we just prepare based on, what they do as a team, because they're not going to change their sets. If he were to come back, if Porter were going to come back, they're still going to run the same stuff. It would change just the personnel tapes that we give to all the players, and their preparation. They would have to prepare for another player, but all the other stuff, it remains the same.
So there's a certain number of players like Jokic in the league now. I'm wondering if when you were playing, was there someone that would remind you of him, or if he's sort of a unique, even after you were playing?
He's incredibly unique, but I think he's kind of a combination of Larry Bird, Arvydas Sabonis. He's like Bird in a 7-footer frame. Shoots it behind his head like Bird did. Sees every pass. Incredible feel for the game. He's sort of a step ahead of everybody else. Just the gamesmanship, the confidence that's probably the best comp, but you know, he comes in a center's body, and that's where the Sabonis comparison would come in. I mean, Sabonis was one of the very best passing bigs the league's ever seen, and so is Nikola. A little before my time, but yeah, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, a big guy with that kind of feel and passing, very rare, but beautiful to watch.
Did anybody else participate today? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously besides James.
Yeah, everyone else participated.
Okay, and the other, you've said in the past couple of weeks that when the playoffs come around, all bets are off in terms of the rotation. You're just gonna go with what works. Do you have an idea going into this game what might work?
I have an idea of what I'm going to do.
I know you're not going to share it.
Yeah, I'm not. But we have a lot of options, and as always in a playoff series, you have to play it out and see how the matchups come out and adjust, from game to game, or even within the game. If you have to make an adjustment, you make one.
Kind of a dumb question, but maybe you can make something out of it. The last couple of years, did you miss the playoffs, being involved in it on a daily basis?
No.
And what did you do during that time? You go out and play golf, or were you riveted on every game?
I watched. It's fun to watch. Last night was amazing watching the Minnesota Clipper game. I didn't see the earlier one because we were here, but got home and turned that one on, and there's nothing like NBA playoff basketball. It's the best athletes in the world and incredible competition, and so I'll be watching just like I was watching the last couple of years, but it's way more fun when you're actually in the fight.
You missed the intensity and all that. What do you miss?
No, the prep, it's so different from the regular season. You spend so much time preparing for your opponents, and that's the most fun part, where you gather as a coaching staff and you pour over the film and you build a game plan and decide how you're going to try to attack, and it's great stuff.
How have you've seen some of the older players that have been here done that in the playoffs? How have you seen them kind of talk to some of the younger guys that don't have postseason experience?
We talked about at the meeting today, kind of what to expect from the playoffs, and the older guys shared some thoughts, and they've been through it and they know, just how to handle themselves, and they imparted their wisdom on the younger guys, and they'll continue to do that.
Steve, I'm not gonna ask you to reveal anything about your rotation plans, but do you feel like Kuminga is ready for meaningful minutes potentially in the playoffs?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, the way he played over the second half of the season, he just grew leaps and bounds, and he's such a dynamic athlete. The thing that happens in the playoffs is, matchups change, things change. You have to be ready for everything. And the way I look at our whole bench is we've got a lot of options, and we've got a lot of guys who I really believe can help us win a game, win a series. And JK is one of those guys.
Obviously, it's never ideal when you don't know Steph's complete health situation, but how much of a luxury is it having someone like Jordan, who's a starting caliber guard who you can plug into that lineup if necessary in this type of situation?
Yeah, huge luxury. Just the way he's performed this year, and his first time in the playoffs, although I would argue that the play-in games are their playoff intensity. They might as well be considered playoff games, and Jordan performed really well in both of those games last year. So he's got a little experience under his belt, and he's a much better player now than he was then. So I'm excited to see him play.
Important question. Is this going to be one of those series where you are willing or unwilling to announce your starting lineup before the game?
Unwilling.
Okay, just
And so just
we'll see it when we see it.
Leave me alone.